that is such an interesting dynamic that we often, it often is one of the reasons we can get consulted, because their parents want to obviously be the advocate for their child, and as they should. But oftentimes the care team interprets that as parents limiting or somehow kind of creating obstacles for communication with their child and kind of limiting the disclosure of information. But we don't see it that way. And I think Amy and Dan are a perfect example of that, in that Amy and Dan know their child best, as do any set of parents know their child best. And so how that information is to be conveyed, if we don't talk to the parents, I think we are foolhardy, because we don't know what resonates with that child and what doesn't. And so, yes, I think from the get-go, and I remember Amy would stand outside the door during rounds, and she would give us a Lauren update. And this is where she is emotionally today, guys. This is what she can handle. This is what she can't. And we would need that every day. I think our team, I think, understood the importance of that more than anybody. But I think often we will reassure teams that parents that want to advocate or be the filter, if you will, are our ally. They're not our adversary. They're an important ally. And because it's not a matter of if we're going to engage that child, if that child is able to be engaged, but how. And the how, we don't know. We don't have all those answers. The parents have those answers. And so how we engage that child, when we engage that child, timing is essential too. And so allying with our parents on that front is paramount. And Amy and Dan were extraordinary in their ability to be just incredibly insightful about when Lauren was ready for what information, how we were going to communicate it. And we stood shoulder to shoulder with them often in how we and when we communicated information. And that's our team. That was the oncologists as well. But I would ask Amy, and I know that the oncology team also would ask Amy and Dan to kind of give us the path forward, show us what that communication path looks like for Lauren. And then we can do it together.
Like when you talk about like that triangle, what I always recall about Erin coming in was that she honored that the patient was Lauren. And so wherever Lauren is, and this is Erin's style, but wherever Lauren is in the bed, like if she's on the couch and the couch sits higher, Erin sits on the chair. If she's in the chair, Erin crouches down. She elevates Lauren's position as just, it's an honor. And, like there's something about that it's unspoken, but the body language there is like, you are the important person here. And I knew the relationship needed to be between Lauren, like Lauren's the patient. I don't have cancer. Lauren is feeling all these things, but I also knew that Lauren's a quiet kid and an insightful kid and a gifted warrior. And I have to translate those worries so that Erin and the oncology team can give her the best care. So there would be days where, the rounds would start. And if she had a really bad night, there'd be, 12 people outside. And I'd come and I'm like, sorry, not everybody gets in today. So Lauren and I talked about like she's Taylor Swift and I'm Taylor Swift's manager. And that Taylor Swift only sees, get important people and special people. So if it was boring or scary, that's not for Taylor. We do those kind of things in the hallway. And so, but Erin was always exempt from that. Like Erin was always, you know, it was like, well, I don't mean Dr. Flanagan like that, obviously, you know, um, but I thought it was, I wanted to honor the relationship there and kind of take a back seat. But I also knew, just as I was Lauren's interpreter, Erin was my interpreter, Dan and my interpreter to the oncology team. So we needed each other to understand one another. Erin needed me to understand Lauren. I needed Erin to understand oncology.